That should be going live. How's it going, people? How is it going? I'm just waiting for this little thing to catch up to me. And then we'll do a sound check and we'll get into this. That should be going. Hey, we are live. We're doing it. How's it going? I hope in the background you can't hear the dog too much. She's not even in this room, but she is slamming around out there. Having the time of her life. We are here today with a part 2 of the tournament we ran on Saturday. So the players in that tournament, 2 of them really wanted to go to bed. 1 of them had previous engagements to go do. So all 3 of them agreed they would play later. And they played Sunday, but I have not had time to cast them until right about now. We had a tournament tonight, but it got canceled because 2 people does not a tournament make. So we're just going to do this instead and get caught up on some things. Slicker Masher, what up? Swiss Pikeman, how's it doing? Contende as well. A lot of yo's in the chat. And for anybody who doesn't remember, the scorecard already has the names up. We had Butcherbird and Cal Harmon in the semifinals. Butcherbird got first pick. It looks like he went with his beloved Beastmen versus Cal Harmon. And this actually caught my eye when I saw the replay. Dwarves. Counterpicking dwarves into Beastmen. You don't see that a lot. Very, very frequently, Beastmen is a counter matchup to the dwarves. So I'm wondering what Cal Harmon has up his sleeve. I mean, he must be confident in it in some way. My total war volume was really low for some reason, but we have fixed that. So coming in for Butcherbird and the Beastmen, we have, it looks like 4 Harpies, a Feral Manticore, 2 Tuskor Chariots, some Centaurs, basic variant in the trees. We have 3 Bestigors, Ungor Spearmen across the front line, a Bray Shaman of Beasts with Amber Spear and Curse of Onrear, it looks like. And then we have a Beast Lord on foot, a basic Beast Lord on foot. Very interesting. Very interesting. I guess he's trying to give a bunch of melee attack buffs to the Bestigors who don't have the best melee attack. And maybe try to get them to just chop through the Dowie front line. It's a simple build. I like it. Very simple. Get in there, rush, and kill them. For the dwarves, none of the gyrocopters the harpies were hoping to hunt down. Instead, we have some Ironbreakers, Longbeards, and Dwarf Warriors mixed, it looked like. Wait, was I mistaken? No, there are some Longbeards. A couple Slayers in the backfield, including some Giant Slayers to deal with some Chariots, Miners, Quarrelers as a secondary line, and Cannons in the very far back. Who's the Lord? Thoric Ironbrow. I probably shouldn't be surprised at this point, but we have the good old, the Thoric, the Ironbrow. So Slayers fighting Harpies. They do kill Harpies rather effectively. The problem is how much damage they're taking in return, and they're a more expensive unit, so they're probably not enjoying this very much at all. Though with the Curse of Onrear wearing off, they should actually start trading very effectively and routing off those Harpies quite soon. 1 Bestigor herd has already been deleted, another is at half health, and the 3rd is doing okay. But they've really been punished on this advance, especially by, Giant Slayers. Yeah, their armor-piercing values would be nice. They're unbreakable, which is the big key thing. Because Beastmen are not, and they will be running. Dragonback Slayers are going to get on top of Centaurs, and Cal Harmon is just getting all the right trades that he wants as the dwarves. His Ironbreakers are getting a little messed up, but he is willing to take that trade for how well the rest of the battle is going for him, honestly. Harpies are honest... No, I need to stop saying honestly. Harpies are doing okay. Better than I would have thought, but they're running out of gas. It looks like 3 of them are very wounded. 1 of them's doing okay, but Harpies won't carry you a game. Beastlord bails out this one situation, getting Bestigors to win in one area, but otherwise he's going to have a really hard time pushing through the rest of the game here. Centaurs in the backfield can chase down those Quarrelers, and that'll be good. But there's so many Slayers left. So many unbreakable, choppy boys, all for pretty much 1 Bestigor to deal with, because Tuskor Chariots will struggle. Slayers are really good against Chariots, in general. Yo, this is my least played Beastman matchup. That is sad to hear, Mr. Butcherbird, because Cal Harmon clearly had an idea of what to do. Butcherbird, as I mentioned, is our Beastman player here, and he's now in the chat. So, you can ask him whatever questions you want in hindsight. Bird, you do not get to reveal the winners of things, good sir. That would be not polite. Beastlord is getting slaughtered by Thoric Ironbrow, and he will shatter or die. Shatter. With the Giant Slayers around him. Now Giant Slayers are going to turn and fight this Feral Manticore. Tuskor Chariots are still trying to deal with these Ironbreakers over here, and slowly getting the damage done, but look how much they've taken in return. I think there's cannons shooting at them. I honestly say honestly too much. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Sorry about that. Giant Slayers absolutely crump this Feral Manticore, and with that, the balance of power is quite in the favor of the dwarves. Can the Beastmen bring it back? Probably not. I think Tuskor Chariots would have to be as broken as they were last patch for this to even be considered. Ooh, and some bad overcast damage coming in on the Brace Shaman of Beasts. If he breaks, this is very much over, and army losses will kick in. Of course not. I already know the results of every matchup, but spoiling them is mean. True. Bird in the chat, what was the idea with the Beastlord? I am curious. Was I right that it was for the double melee buffs on Bestigors, or what was going on there? Shaman cast debuffs. You're not going to see a ton of great value there. Spearman died for the great cause. Bestigors, one of them got Shrek, two of them did okay. But they had a hard time paying for themselves. Tuskors also struggled a little bit. And Harpies... Harpies getting some of the best value on this roster, which was interesting. And the Manticore just got murdered by Giant Slayers. Thoric did great. 1,200 value. Blasting charges. Alright, almost 1,000. Slaughtered down some Bestigors. Slayers did fine. I mean, they got good value for the ones that died, and the ones that were full health. I mean, they're still full health, so who cares what value they got. And Cannon did fine. Ironbreakers did well. So that was fun. To buff the Bestigors, but they weren't close enough together. That'd do it. And now I have to be very careful to remember to always take you guys back to this screen when I'm picking the next replay. Otherwise, you'll know exactly how every game goes. That would be bad. All right, so we'll go to game 2. So this was Cal Harmon's first pick. He picked. What is going on with this set, Bird? You first pick Beastmen. He picks Dwarves into them, which is considered a counter against Dwarves. And then he picks Lizardmen, and you pick Greenskins into him, which is considered a counter against Beastmen. I think you guys need to have a talk about what counters are. You wanted to bring Quad Chariot, but that was illegal until about 30 minutes after the game. Oh, that's a shame. I'm sorry, dude. Because of the new patch. And we have to pause. We have to pause right here, right now. We just got to zoom in real quick. We just got to... Hey, Bird, why'd you take 2 giants? What's going on here with these giants? We have the double giant Night Goblin War Boss Fermented Fungi and Tormentor's Sword. Orc Shaman with Brainburster and Edbot. So a lot of infantry clearing there. Some Night Goblin Squig Hoppers, Day Loonies, and otherwise just a Goblin front line, and Orc Boy secondary with the required Skirmish Cav. And we even have the Moon Howlers. Bird, you're just wild. You're a wild child. For Cal Harmon, we have Chameleon Skinks, Chameleon Stalkers, then we have some Javelins, some Saurus, more Javelins, more Saurus, an Arc of Sotek for clearing out infinite infantry, Cohort of Sotek just because unbreakable units are very good, more Saurus, Javelins, and then Chameleon Skinks and Stalkers with Mazda Mundi on top of Zlak at the center of the army. So it looks like a pretty straightforward bump and grind build with some missile support. Cal Harmon's relying on superior infantry to crush through the Goblin lines. Looks like he will get zoned out by the Moon Howlers pretty quickly here, and they have 29-27. Chameleon Stalkers have 22-36. They could probably win the melee combat against the Moon Howlers, but looks like they won't even take that fight. They'll just run away, wasting some grenades of the Chameleon Stalkers, which can be quite oppressive. Bretonia, Greenskins, Beastmen, Chaos, Norska. Did he ban Chaos, and that's why he didn't get to pick it? I don't know. Anyway, we'll see how the double giant does. If they can both get on top of Mazda Mundi, they will have the time of their lives. Also, that Arc of Sotak's going to have a hard time getting into infantry and just sitting there doing what it wants to do, because there will be always the double giant threat. Source Warriors piling into goblins across the front line. That is going to be pretty terrible for goblins, but maybe the 8-peak loonies can get off one of their spinning loon casts down the pipe here. That would be pretty good for them. Other than that, they're going to die a slow, horrible death. Actually, the 8-peak loons are going to push back and get on top of these javelins, just trying to shut them down and save the squig hoppers, who have taken a lot of damage already. Oof, poor things. Brainburst are coming in, along with the double giant. These Saurus in the middle are getting absolutely crunked. They did not have a good time at all. Moon Howlers are trying to get on top of Chameleon Stalkers, it looks like. No, they're going to run up and around them and maybe go for the Chameleon Skinks in the back. Not really sure what's going on over there. There is an overcasted net in the center, just trying to lock things down. But unlike a traditional archer faction, the Lizardmen don't really have a ton of range to punish this net. They have some javelins that will do good damage to a giant, but it's not like the silver bullets are sitting anywhere to just wreck this whole formation. And a Ruination of Cities comes down, doing good damage to goblins and orc boys. But I'm sure the greenskins are okay with a few lads getting hurt. Where did those Chameleon Stalkers go? They're over here. They're fine. It looks like a Wa is being popped. The Cav are trying to run down Chameleon Skinks on both sides, and they do catch them. So far, Bird owns the mobile game very, very nicely, and honestly, he's not doing too bad in the infantry game either. Balance power is 50-50, but the greenskins have traded up in a lot of areas. Still have both their giants alive to fight the single entities that they need to. And the Lizardmen are looking pretty haggard about now. I guess there's one unit of full Saurus left, but otherwise it's a lot of halves and injured things. Mazdamundi's coming in, trying to fight a giant and the Night Goblin Warboss. Night Goblin Warboss, almost full health, yet almost routing. Thankfully for him, he is ITP, otherwise he might have terror routed there. And Butcherbird will pull him away. Fermented Fungi popped on these Skink Horse of Javelins. They're going to pile in out of control. I don't know why they were cast over... Ooh. Comet of Cassandora coming down to take out a bunch of skirmish cav over there. That was a nice play by Cal Harmon. But that was an interesting Fermented Fungi on the Skink cohorts. Night Goblin Warboss charges back in. It looks like they're trying to rout off these Skink cohorts that are surrounding them on every side. But Lord Mazdamundi will get a rear charge on this giant. And it looks like the Greenskin hero... I guess we'll call giants heroes. The hero core is in a little bit of trouble here. They're not getting the pristine engagements they want. Their enemy has infantry support, they don't. And it looks now like the Night Goblin Warboss is even going to break. And that will be pretty bad. Orc Boys and the Orc Shaman are trying to fight off a bunch of Saurus. But the Lizardmen are grinding their way back into this fight. Now the bounce power still dead center even. Ooh, and the 8-peak loons are here. If they can get a loon off down this line, that would be huge. Alright, I have to look for it. In the backfield, Night Goblin Squig Hoppers are cleaning up anything that tries to come back, and Bird has done a good job making sure no reinforcements can come. Terror routes are coming down. As Mazdamundi pulls away, the leadership just falls enough from the skirmish cav fire in the back, two big terrifying giants beating the crap out of you, and it looks like that pocket will all rout off. Orc Boys are also going to terror out. A lot of terror routes coming in. A lot of terror outs. Greenskins are actually slightly ahead on the bounce power at this point, as it's Mazdamundi and one health unit of Saurus Warriors versus everything. Now Mazdamundi is about to goon out this Orc Shaman. His combat stats are okay, but he's still an infantry character versus an anti-infantry giant armored lord. And he'll get running pretty quick. What can kill the giants? Not a lot. And that's not something you hear often, but those giants might actually be unkillable at this point. Mazdamundi's he's not an amazing single-entity duelist, especially with Fermented Fungi and the Tormentor sword around to make him even worse at it. Saurus aren't amazing at killing giants either. They'll grind him down eventually, but, you know, there's enough support around the map that the giant should be okay. Skirmish Cav still actually have a decent amount of ammo. They can poke things down and cycle charge. We have Squig Herds. Yeah, the giants might be enough to carry this. Night Goblin Warboss going to hit Mazdamundi in the back. And it looks like Zlak will attack backwards, but the little Warboss will run away. More Squig Hoppers on the flank. I'm hoping they come in soon. Maybe they're chasing a Shattered Dune, I can't see. And there is a net coming in from Mazdamundi on top of the Night Goblin Warboss, though he will not use this opportunity to attack because there are two big old giants coming in that would put the absolute whooping on him. So Mazdamundi's just going to waddle away. Ruination of Cities coming in. If it picks the right directions to go, that could be very, very nice. And it does pick 2 of the right ways to go, but Butcherbird does pull away, so the second one doesn't do nearly as much damage. Mazdamundi's just trying to group up with the last of his forces, it looks like. The Giants were chasing him, but now they're realizing they might be a little overextended, and they're going to pull away. Greenskins really need to use all their skirmish cav ammo before they call this one done, and the balance of power is now in the favor of the Lizardmen. It really has been back and forth. There's a lot of comments in the chat I'll deal with in a second. Giant turns around, gets a nice hit on the Mazdamundi, and a brain burster right in the middle of all these Lizardmen troops. Hey, the Orc Shaman's back. Good to see you, buddy. And a fermented fungi comes down, rampaging Mazdamundi and taking his melee defense down to 18. Now, the Giants have melee attacks of 65, so they should almost hit pretty much every single time if they swing at him, but instead they're getting distracted by the Saurus, and that could be really bad for Bird. Now, thankfully for him, it looks like the Saurus support will rout off soon enough. And another Brain Burster coming in, going to take out some cohort of Sotek models, maybe? Oh no, it's a banishment from Mazdamundi. Interesting, that might actually cause some friendly fire. I guess he was desperate to just get out of here, but, you know, the Red-Crested Skinks were the only chaff involved there. Some Squig Hoppers are still chasing him around, and they are also ITP, so they're not going to tear her out at all. They will stay on him until they naturally break, which leads to one of them shattering. Now, there's still some Skirmish Cav, there's still some cohort of Sotek running around, and Double Giant, but Mazdamundi's really beat up. The Saurus are long gone. I think that might be it, honestly. And he said, honestly, again. Gosh, malarkey, god damn it. Contende saying you loving these Double Giants. You went Double Giants on Beastmen this morning for funsies. I like seeing it because I suck at using slow single entity units. That's fair. The joy of fighting vampire counts. Jeremy, why are you starting your tournament so late? What's wrong with you? I like to host some in the North American time zone and some in the European time zone. And I was trying to host one in the North American time zone tonight, so nobody signed up. But I thought I'd do the replay anyway. This is when I get off work, dude. Get off work, come home, try to entertain the masses. Jeremy, you ordered my book and it hasn't arrived yet. What do you have to say about this, you charlatan? This is a joke. No, it is not a joke. You are a criminal and a bad person, and you have hurt me. You've wounded me so. I don't know, dude. It took like a week for my copy to get here. And that will be, now that the Giants have caught up to Mazdamundi, that is the series, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, that's a double-lift joke, if anybody knows the League of Legends personalities. That is not the series, in fact, it is 1-1. Butcherbird pulled it out with Double Giants and a Night Goblin War Boss. You love to see it. Almost 1,500 value on that little guy. 750 on his Orc Shaman pal. Goblins did well, considering their frontline chaff. Moonhowlers did well. Got on top of some things they wanted to get on to. Skirmish Cav did just fine, and the Giants did excellently. Mazdamundi got 2,800 value. He did very, very nicely. Chameleon Stalkers didn't quite pay for themselves. They did okay, but not incredibly. Saurus Warriors actually struggled more than I thought they would. I thought they'd be great. And Jab Skinks largely did well. Chameleon Skinks did okay, and the Ark of Sotek didn't quite pay for itself either. But it ended up being a banger. Close one. And we will get the screen blocker up, because you all know this is going to Game 3, but you don't know how the finals goes yet, so let's just calm this down. So we will go on to Cal Harmon and Butcherbird's Game 3. Wow. All right. We have Butcherbird on the Lizardman himself this time versus ODM Man, who is Cal Harmon, on Dark Elves. Filthy, scheming Dark Elves. Butcherbird, big brain. Indeed, the biggest, the baddest brain. For Bird, we have 4 chameleon skinks, 5 skink cohorts, 3 Saurus warriors. Slow down. And then 4 Cold One riders. None of them are spear units. We have a skink chief on the ground, Krokgar on the ground as well, with his Hand of the Gods, but otherwise on foot. Skink Priest of Heavens with Wind Blast and Harmonic Convergence. For ODM Man, Cal Harmon, we have 3 Dark Riders with shields, 1 Dark Rider with repeater crossbows. Is that it? No, more Dark Riders with shields, some Cold One Dread Knights. Looks like 3 of them across the back. 2 Scourge Runner Chariots, Morathi Double Manticore in the sky. And that is a tiny, tiny build. 334 models. Perfectly legal, very small. So it looks like Cal is going to try to get some free charges on the front line while he can, but charging Scourge Runners into Saurus seems risky. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. He's a Lizardman specialist, but that seems ballsy. But with Morathi and the Cold One Dread Knights, it is a massive flank overload, and this left flank will collapse entirely very, very soon. Now the Scourge Runners are going to pull up into the Cold One Riders, and Cold One Riders will be very dangerous for Cal Harmon's build. He will need to overwhelm them in any fights he takes, because one-on-one Cold One Riders will trade quite effectively versus most of this Cav build, especially the Chariots. You can see this Scourge Runner is not having a great time now that the Cold Ones have arrived, and unfortunately for Cal Harmon, the only unit he can send in to bail it out is yet another Scourge Runner Chariot, which the Cold One Riders, again, are quite happy to see. I don't know why that keeps happening. I'm really sorry the camera's being dumb. It looks like we have a Soul Stealer. It's not bugged anymore, so you can see this Saurus unit is not getting affected by it because more than half the units outside of it. I don't know how I feel about that. I can talk about it later. But regardless, Krokgar's getting in there fighting some Dark Riders with shields. And some of the Dark Elf units are routing off. You can see these Dark Riders have all been a little messed up. Scourge Runners messed up, more Dark Riders. And it's going to come down to the Elite Cav and Morathi versus the world quite quickly. They won't have much infantry support. But while a lot of things are routing for the Dark Elves, a lot of things are routing for the Lizardmen. This has been a hard and fast game. Lizardmen got beat up very quickly early. Saurus are all looking a little worse for wear. Cold One Riders are running out of juice as well. And we'll see. I'm kind of surprised this Dark Elf build is winning, considering how quickly the fight came up. And they have no infantry support because they have no infantry. And that might be a Wand of Crydon coming in on the Saurus Warriors. And if it is, that'll do some decent damage and maybe even rout them off so Morathi can move. Decent little damage. Terrifies them off so Morathi can move. I did it! I predicted a thing correctly. Stop blaming the camera. You're drunk again. Ha! Joke's on you. I can't drink. My liver's shutting down. Tee-hee. Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't drink for 6 months because they were trying to figure out if I have a genetic... Well, I do have a genetic condition. They don't know if it's active yet, where my liver stores up iron. And if that's true, then a whole bunch of bad things are going to happen. And I went in... After 6 months of not drinking, my liver was in worse shape than before, so... We'll find out what that means next month. But I am not drunk, sir. You offend me. I am offended. This is my offended voice. Cold One Dread Knights are pushing up on these Chameleon Skinks, but the Chameleon Skinks are kind of the last bastion of this Lizardman army for Butcherbird here. And they're doing some good damage on their way out, but they will get caught and they will get killed. Krokgar has a good amount of health, but since he's a foot character versus an all-cav army, the Dark Elves can literally just ignore him and kill everything else first. And wait for precious, precious army losses to take care of that gator. Feral Manticores and Morathi coming over here, trying to dive on top of the Skink Priest of Heavens, get a nice rear charge onto him. I don't know if that hit. It doesn't look like it did. Second one doesn't hit either, but he still gets terrified. Is that another Soul Stealer? Another Soul Stealer comes in and hits 2 Chameleon Skinks, the only 2 that were standing and fighting. They'll rout off pretty soon. And I wonder if the Lizardmen can rally. They've been up and down on the balance of power, but right now it is certainly looking quite down. Morathi still is very, very healthy. Her Manticore pals are doing okay, except for that one. Ew, that one got trapped up and murdered. She is another. She has a spare Manticore friend. She still has some Cold One Dread Knights running around. There was a third unit. Are they pretty much out of juice? No, they're way over there. They're fine. That's a lot of Cold One Dread Knights to cut through. I do think the Lizardmen will be dying a horrible death after this. We have 2 very wounded Saurus, a Skink Chief at half health, and if that Manticore has anything to say about it, less than that. Though he doesn't. He misses a lot. 36, 40 with a charge bonus of 50. That's kind of crazy. You missed all that, dude. And he misses again, knocking him over. But army losses will come in for the Lizards. And Cal Harmon will go up 2-1 moving him to finals versus Dactyr. 700 value on him. 200 on his hero helpers. Crop guard, that is. Skin Courts got very little. One Saurus got some, but the other two didn't. Command Skinks did okay. And then Colton Riders did okay. Mixed. Marathi did great, as Marathi always does. Dark Riders with Shields actually traded up. That surprised me. Colton Dread Knights did really well. Repeater Crossbows and Scourge Runners didn't do as well, but they did okay. They served their purpose. And Manticores actually struggled a little bit, but they just missed a ton of attacks on the heroes they were fighting. Hey, thanks. Yeah, the medical stuff's kind of shitty. I was hoping... What they were hoping was that I was too young and the genes wouldn't be active yet, and that they could just supervise me over the course of my life, and if my liver ever started having trouble, then they would deal with it, but it looks like that might have already started, which is not ideal. So we'll see. The only treatment known for it is just to bleed you occasionally, because it's called hemochromatosis if you want to look it up, but I have a double recessive gene, so my body... Essentially, my liver is a glutton for iron. So any iron I eat, if I go, if you have too much iron in your system, your body should excrete it, but my liver just doesn't have the right enzymes to do that. So it just holds on to all of it. And if your liver gets too heavy, it can stop blood flow and all that shit. So their only solution is to bleed you, so your body needs to make more red blood cells. And at the core of the heme structure is it's held together by an iron molecule, so your body has to use that iron rather than sitting on it. So at least I'll become the world's greatest blood donor by force. Okay, so we are here with Dactyr versus Cal Harmon in the finals, and I'm not sure who's who yet. So we will figure that out in just a second. I'm going to leave Cal Harmon on the right, just in case. But it is an ODM final, and ODM number 1. I believe... I don't know who's on what. We're just going to go with ODM number 1. For ODM number 1, we have the Dark Elves, Dark Riders, Bleak Swords, Black Ark Corsairs with Hambos, and then 1 Black Ark Corsair with dual swords. Interesting. We have 4 Scourge Runners. Okay. Dark Riders Repeater Crossbows, and in the sky, Marathi. That is a lot of Scourge Runners. Marauder Horsemasters for ODM player number 2. That will figure out who it is after the game. 2 horsemen, so it looks like 4 horsemen, 2 horsemasters, Chaos Warhounds with poison, and then a bunch of Chaos Marauders. Chaos Warriors with great weapons. So 2 Chaos Warriors with great weapons mixed in there, 1 Chaos Chariot, Archaon the Everchosen as both a caster and combat lord, and a single Hell Cannon, not the ROR. This Chaos build is quite funky, but this matchup is traditionally not very favored for Chaos. So you do have to get funky if you want to win it. I think Dark Elves are largely considered counters here. Stabbing you is technically treatment. That is very odd. The whole Skaven thing makes more sense now. Yeah, dude. So if you run into me in public, just give me a good old kidney shank. You're helping me, I promise. Looks like Chaos is just going to try to skirmish. I don't know if they win the skirmish fight. With the 4 Scourge Runners and then the 2 Handbows and even some Repeater Crossbow Cav, they're going to take a lot of damage. But, I mean, if you don't engage in the skirmish fight, then what are you doing with your skirmish Cav? And that was a funky projectile. Hell Cannon tried to home onto its target, but ended up just missing. I do like its position behind these trees. It can make it a little harder to snipe from a Fireball caster or Bolt Throwers or something, so that is pretty clever by ODM player 2. Dactyr is Chaos. All right, thank you. So Dactyr is Chaos. And Dactyr had first pick, so it looks like he first picked Chaos, and Cal Harmon counterpicked him with the Wood Elves. Hell Cannon is really trying to hit Marathi and getting a little too fancy with the shots. It really likes to do that like swoop up thing that just isn't working. Hey, thanks, man. Everybody has their shit they have to deal with. Hell Cannon misses Marathi again, but this time it does arc down into the Dark Riders with Peter Crossbows. And that Fireball also goes wide. Dactyr is having a really tough time with missile RNG right now. And it misses. She was sitting still and it misses again. Oh, God. Poor Dactyr. All right, what is this coming in? Is this... Oh, it's Marathi, so it's a Soul Stealer. Of course it's a Soul Stealer. It looks like she's doing that mostly for the health because she only hit one Chaos Warrior with great weapons. It's not ideal, but she really did need the health, so I think that was just a desperation thing more than an opportune moment. And those Black Ark Corsairs with handbows get wrecked on the charge by the Chaos Chariot. That was very nice. And Dactyr is trying to scrap back. His front line seems to be doing very, very well. Dactyr's Skirmish Corps is largely still intact, though. I don't think he wants to retreat because he does want to shut down that Hell Cannon Dactyr has. It still has a lot of ammunition left in it. And a little Fireball ticks on Marathi. But I'm wondering if the Dark Elves have enough to really punch through this front line. Scourge Runners aren't built for that as much. They're okay melee chariots, but their ammunition's getting a little wasted if they have to shoot Chaos Warriors this whole time. Marathi dives in. I think she's trying to force a blob on herself so she can get a better Soul Stealer and heal herself up a little bit more. Or maybe she's just trying to force the Hell Cannon shots to cause friendly fire. Don't know, but she's doing her best. It looks like there is a good Soul Stealer. It hits 2 units, and maybe these Horse Masters will move into being affected. It doesn't look like they will. So Marathi is going to come over here, and ooh, Archaon actually hops into that Soul Stealer for just a second, though I don't think it actually does damage after its initial little burst. And another Fireball misses. Dactyr, wherever you are, I feel you. I feel you, my friend. You are doing your... And the Hell Cannon misses again. Oh my god. You just can't hit her. You poor bastard. Alright. He's trying his best. Hell Cannon is going to switch. No, it's not going to switch. It's still going to try to hit her, and it just won't. Oh god. Please stop it. Jeremy, you think it's at least clipping her? Nothing else has attacked her, so the Hell Cannon has to be doing some work? Yeah, I think it is doing some work. I think that it is also missing a lot, too, though. Some Dark Riders with shields actually get on top of the Hell Cannon, and that will be pretty tough. Now, all the Skirmish Cap does come back, and I think if you have 3 Chaos Dwarfs left, you can still pilot the Hell Cannon. So with 4, they should be okay. And the Dark Elves are down to just 4 Scourge Runners. Marathi's used a lot of Soul Stealers. She has at most 2 left, but I'm guessing only 1 left. At most 2. The 2 Repeater Crossbow Cavs still have plenty of ammunition. Other than that, the Dark Elves are out. For Chaos. Ooh, Wand of Crydon coming in. That's going to be tough. Chaos still has plenty of infantry. Their Skirmish Cav is beaten, but not dead. And the Hell Cannon. Yeah, 3 Dwarves and they man it. I was right. I know 2 is too few. I also know 1 is too few. So the Skirmish Cav of Chaos are doing their best. The problem for them is that Scourge Runners actually do really well against them. And they're the kind of targets that Scourge Runners want to fight. But they'll do their best. These Chaos Warriors, the Great Weapons, are going to be a big problem, though. I mean, that one's full health. And once all this stuff runs out of ammo, they can probably take all of it. Probably. Hell Cannon shot coming in, missing again. That thing has used almost all of its ammunition. It has 673 value. 673 value. Another Soul Stealer coming in just onto some Marauder Horsemasters. I would have liked to see that personally on one of the Chaos Warriors, the Great Weapons. There you are. I think it could have been a little more useful there. We'll see. Chaos Chariots are getting in deep on the Black Ark Corsairs. A little aggressive. I wonder if the Scourge Runners can pull up and shoot them on the retreat. These Repeater Crossbows sure are trying to. And that could be a big loss for Chaos at this point. Hell Cannon is out of ammunition. And it looks like Chaos will start a slow advance. Archaon has been burning fireballs this entire game, wherever you are. So I don't imagine he has a ton left either. Marathi is very far away from the fight. I think she's worried about getting poked out by Skirmish Cav. She just knows she can't take any more poke damage. as her healing will be limited. Dark Elves trying to get all their ammo out before they actually have to sit fight. We're going to hit the double speed just to get through this little phase here. A lot of things are getting shot. We can see a fireball coming after Marathi, and it may be clipped her on the back there. But that Chaos Chariot is getting gunned down by these 2 repeater crossbows. And the next ones are going to try and turn and get in there, but they're going to take a bunch of damage on the start. And with these Scourge Runners nearby, I wouldn't be surprised if they looped up and around and bailed out their repeater crossbows. Possibly, maybe, but it looks like they can just run away themselves. Chaos Chariot will have a hard time keeping up. Balance power is still pretty equal into this game. We've gone for about 7 minutes. Most things are running out of ammo except for these Black Arc Corsairs handbows, who are now charged by a Chaos Chariot and not having a great time, already down to half leadership. And very little health. Scourge Runners are running away, trying to use their last shots yet again. I don't know if Marathi has another Soul Stealer left. There's like no way. There's no way. Should be saving Soul Stealer for Chaos Blobs on Chariots. I agree, Lord of Lucia. I agree. 1 Scourge Runner is out of ammo. Another Scourge Runner has only 2 shots left. Dark Elves are still kiting back. Chaos is still trying to keep up just a little bit. Dactor's ammunition is pretty low. Most of his skirmish cav are out. Archaon's running in. Does he have Slayer of Kings? He has it. He hasn't activated it yet, but he has it. Another Soul Stealer coming in. That'll do okay, but it's definitely better versus larger targets, right? I believe so. Archaon's taking some good damage, though, and there's no healing on the Chaos roster, though. A very good dodge by Dactor. Dodges a bunch of the Scourge Runner shots, though now he stopped for a little too long, and he's going to take some more damage there. Scourge Runners are running out of ammo, though. And these specific Chaos Warriors, the great weapons, I watch their career with great interest, as there is much for them to do. Ammo is out. I think the Chaos Army is entirely melee mode now. And they seem okay with that. Archaon is going to run in. He uses Stand or Die and Slayer of Kings. He's just trying to get what damage he can while he can, in case these repeater crossbows get him, or something like that. You can see he puts the absolute smackdown onto those Scourge Runners, who are immediately going to pull out of there. Now Marathi's coming in and gets a rear charge onto Archaon. If he turns and fights her, I don't think that's too bad. With Slayer of Kings still up, you want to try to get at least 1 attack in there. She is heal capped. If there are any more Soul Stealers, there's no way. There's no way you have another Soul Stealer. You've cast so many this game. I'm upset. That will be a very, very good Soul Stealer. Does a ton of damage to Archaon. All these horsemen are taking a lot. And the Chaos Warriors, the great weapons that we were watching, do take a good chunk from that as well. Archaon rallies. And he does manage to cast yet another fireball up at Marathi. Will it hit? Yes, it will, doing about 200 damage, which is very, very good. Scourge Runners are pulling away. Dark Riders repeater crossbows have 1 volley left. They're going to have to use it wisely. These are all replays, and I can't really comment on attacking rules, but both players agreed that these replays were legit. I personally would have said the Dark Elf should be engaging there, but, you know, each their own. Archaon running in, trying to get on top of the Scourge Runners. Looks like he's going to break off another one. Barathi getting a very nice rear charge on him, and he does hit on the charge. But Archaon hasn't broken just yet. Now he will, but she is very surrounded by great weapons. And I'm wondering if her debuffs are enough to keep her alive. Only 16 melee attack on these great axes. Maybe they can get some good RNG and breakthrough. Maybe. Marathi's getting close to breaking. She's down to 800 health. And all of her skirmish cav support is breaking off due to their terrible melee stats. You know, they're skirmish cav. They were supposed to use all their ammo, which they did. Now they're kind of worthless. Archaon rallies. If he doesn't break, he can run away. Oh, God, he has another fireball. I'm guessing none of these were overcasted. Marathi dodges another one, and she's going to try to jump onto him, probably. He uses standard die for some extra melee defense and leadership, and that does get him through the worst of it. He turns around, and if he gets a hit on her right now, this game's probably over, but he misses. He misses. Chaos is still a little bit in the lead, but these Scourge Runners are all out of ammunition, and they have to try to cycle charge these Chaos Warriors with great weapons, which, as we all know from the Cav bug conversation that's been all over the community, they're not going to enjoy that one bit. Great weapons are quite good against large. I have some messages. I'll check them later. This is more important than whatever that is. Scourge Runner's getting a free little hit on some Chaos Marauders. That's pretty good. And Archaon is looking like he's going to get charged again any second now. But there is absolutely no way you have another Soul Stealer. There have been so many this game. A rear charge on Archaon does hit him. He's down to 38 health. I think he's just trying to desperately swing before his leadership crumbles enough. But he dies. He dies. It is now down to these Chaos Warriors with great weapons. I will name them the Fearsome 50. Can the Fearsome 50 carry? It does not look like it. Their leadership is crumbling. They will get rear charged right about now. That will break them off, and the Dark Elves will win it. Probably. There it is. Dark Elves win it. Cal Harmon dragging it back. 7 is a low estimate. It hit the hill like 4 times. Yeah. And Butcherbird was right. That was Dactyr on Chaos. Archaon getting about 2,400 value. Very nice. Chaos Marauders, honestly, trading pretty effectively for their value. Chaos Warriors with great weapons did fine. Chaos Chariots did well. Skirmishers did okay as well. Dogs struggled, apparently. There wasn't a whole lot for them to go after. And the Hell Cannon did not quite pay for itself. It had some pretty unlucky shots. Marathi did Marathi stuff, 2,900. Bleak Swords had a really tough go. So did the Black Ark Corsairs. Any melee infantry from the Dark Elves just did not enjoy its day. Dark Riders did their job. Handbows really didn't pay for themselves either, but the Repeater Crossbow Cav, the Scourge Runners, and Marathi carried the day. GG Logic. GG indeed. How you doing, my friend? How are you doing? You had a tournament today to determine who will fight Honeynut. And I don't want to spoil that in case someone hasn't watched it yet. But that was it was a pretty good final series. I only caught the last series, which I will spoil, went to 5 games, which is always pretty hype. So go watch that. That was good shit. I didn't see the rest of the tournament though, so I hope it went well. I was at work, unfortunately. Now I must update the scorecard. We have Cal Harmon up 1, and he is currently on the Lizardmen, which is his main, I believe. Hell Cannons seem to have difficulty hitting aerial targets, especially small. Yeah. Yes, yes, indeed. We have the Skaven, a personal favorite of mine. 3 Rat Ogres from Dactyr, a backline of Clan Rats and Clan Rat Spears. The Council Guard in the middle. Ugh. I could gripe about them all day long. Skaven Slaves on the front, some Clan Rats on the side. 2 Poisonwind Globes, 2 Jezzails, double Assassin, and a Gracier of Plague with Vermintide and Dreaded 13th. So I don't like the Council Guard here because Pterodons with their rock drops can do about half of their health in 1 rock drop, so maybe 2 of them dropping rocks on the Council Guard will just nuke them out of existence. And rock drops really aren't that effective on anything else in the Skaven roster, so they're going to all be coming for that Council Guard. And with the Gracier of Plague, you don't have Howling Warp Gale to really fend them off. He does have the item that's a 45% slow and does some damage, but that's not as good as a snare, and the Council Guard are just targets. So if Cal Harmon realizes there's no reason to run up with his Pterodon Riders, he can hold them back, and then later in the game, when the Jezzails are compromised by all your ground forces, he can move in and get the rock drops off for free on the Council Guard, get them off on the Poisonwind Globes if he really wants to. I think right now he's being a little too aggressive with his Pterodons. You can see they're just taking a bunch of free damage. They don't really have to. He does need to pull them away, pull them off to the side. Logic saying, good, thanks, man. How are you? I am okay. I'm okay. Yeah, Cal Harmon is a very strong Lizardman player. Hell yeah. Word of Monksy. One thing I'm looking forward to when the betas merge, Doomflayer is actually decent again. Dude, I wish Doomflayers were good. I wish. They're such a cool unit, but they just aren't really great. For the Lizards, we didn't talk about them too much. They have 3 Pterodons, some Chameleon Stalkers, Red-Crested Skinks, a couple Feral Stegodons to push through the front line, Skink Priest of Beasts, along with Croc Gar. It looks like he's on his Velociraptor. And basic Javs. That's been the meta, it looks like, since the patch. Lizardmen just like to run at you with as many skink units as possible. That is very good for them. It looks like the Gracier of Plague will be in some real trouble. Krokgar getting on top of him. Big anti-large duelist, already taking that guy down to half health. Manticore Summon coming in. And the Council Guard are standing here fighting these red-crested skinks, and they're doing okay at that, but the rest of their army is completely falling apart. I predict we will see them stand alone at the end of the game against the Tide. I wonder if that was a rock drop right there. If it was a bit of a waste, but it looks like Cal Harmon will send the Pterodon Riders into melee with the Jezzails. And that is very good. Manticore's chasing around the Gracier. I wouldn't mind seeing that get on the other Jezzails instead. Just shut them down, make your dinosaurs invincible. Stegodons are still fighting. Assassins have terrible armor piercing, so they're not going to be able to do very much versus Stegodons. And this Stegodon fighting the Council Guard, along with Krokgar and a Skink Priest of Beast, this is a mistake. They need to get out of here. Putting all those high-value assets next to armor piercing infantry is not ideal, in my opinion. Chameleon Stalkers fighting off some Rat Ogres to keep the jabs online, and it looks like an Assassin is getting gooned out a little bit by some Stegodons, by Krokgar, and the Council Guard are moving out of the box formation. Not where they want to be. I wonder if Dactyr got them confused with this summoned unit of Storm Vermin Halberds from the Dreaded 13th. Maybe, but they are moving away from the formation. They are now coming back, but their assassins are almost dead, it looks like. I mean, Krokgar has 0 melee attack right now, so maybe he can't get a lot of attacks down. Skaven weapons teams are all shut down, terror routing, under attack. So they have some Rat Ogres still in this fight. Other than that, they have some rallying infantry that's very injured. Council Guard are still chilling in the Great Blue yonder. And it looks like we have another Vermintide coming in, so some Clan Rat's going to try to get on top of some Skinks, fight them over there. I wonder... Fighting on top of these Storm Vermin Halberds is not ideal. That Hand of the Gods unfortunately misses. There, one of the Storm Vermin Halberds disappears. These Rat Ogres are isolated against the Stegodons, and while they can possibly do well, I don't think they will. I think they'll rout off, especially if this Stegodon gets into the action and hits them from behind. Another summoned Manticore comes in, and the Skaven units are very, very far away from their key pieces. The Gracier of Plague would be a good target for the Manticore. These units up on the hill would be a good target for the Manticore. It really doesn't have any bad targets. Jumps down, misses its charge attack, misses its second attack, so the Gracier gets away with murder for that one. And it looks like the Stegodon got distracted and didn't bail the other one out from the Rat Ogres. They will get good damage over time if they're left completely alone. Now Krokgar got back onto the Gracier of Plague, and he does excellent damage to it, and he really needs to just chase it down. Ignore everything else, force past it. Council Guard are trying to get back involved in this. Gracier's casting whatever spells it can before it dies, but Krokgar gets distracted yet again. He just needs to constantly click on that Gracier. He needs to kill it. Needs to kill it, kill it, kill it. Skinks are peeling off some Rat Ogres, and the Lizardmen have consolidated their forces around this area. All the Skaven heroes are in this consolidated force, which can be quite concerning for them. Krokgar is getting attacked by 2 assassins. He needs more support. He needs these Skinks to come over and block for him. He needs this Manticore to come over, or something. The Stegodon rampages into the Gracier of Plague and actually does rout him off, which is quite good for the Lizardmen, and he will shatter, which is extremely good for them. You can see now the Assassin's leadership tanks so much that they start terror routing or natural routing, and it's going to come down very soon to just the Council Guard. I wonder if any of these Pterodons have rock drops left. The Manticore gets one last spiteful hit in before it dies. Both the Assassins are routing in and chased off, and I see a lot of white flags over Skaven heads. These Chameleon Stalkers have ammunition left. They should probably just pull back and throw that rather than commit to the melee engagement. Nagbuba Sharpshooters do rally and fight some Pterodon Riders for just a second, but they're going to go negative in leadership. Can they rally? It doesn't look like it, so that was just one spiteful last hurrah from them. And that will be a valiant defeat by the Skaven. How does a pickle feel about his birthday? It relishes it. Word of Monksy, Doomflayers suck on live, but in the Cav beta they work way better for some reason. I mean, yeah. Yeah, they do. I can show you why. Says Cal Harmon up 2-0 over the man, the myth, the legend, Dactyr. Though I appreciate the Skaven pick. Assassins and the Gracier did okay. Gracier didn't quite pay for himself, but he's mostly a support piece. That's not that surprising. Council Guard got like half their value back. Jezzails did fine. Rat Ogres did okay. Krokgar got about 1,100 value. That's pretty good from him. Red Crested Skinks, Chameleon Stalkers, mixed results. Jab Skinks paid for themselves largely. Pterodons chased things off, and the Stegodons were actually real pros. So I'm going to put that up real quick. I wonder if I can pull this off. Just talking about the Doomflayers really quick. Okay. The reason Doomflayers suck in this patch, but in the beta, they're okay, is... It's all about that multi-entity model thing. The same reason Cavs suck is because they're such a large target that when they charge into infantry, they get attacked 5 or 6 times, while the infantry only get attacked once, so they lose the trade pretty hard. I showed this example on stream before, but we'll do it super quick and then get back to what you actually came here for. This just distracted me because I'm very passionate about this topic. Forsaken aren't armor-piercing infantry. They aren't anti-large. They have 85 armor, but that's about it. Doomflayers have armor-piercing. They have anti-infantry. They have 90 armor. They should win this trade by a lot. Okay, but if the AI just doesn't do anything, then of course I'm going to do damage. Dumbass AI. Let's try this again with you paying attention. Why are you so dumb? Whatever. They take a bunch of damage on the charge. If the AI wasn't busy walking off into the sunset. There. I'll make my lord invisible so you can't ignore me. You dumbasses. Anyway. It's also not like a net gain on charge, I think. This one I'm not as confident on, but it feels like if you have a charge bonus of 60 and the other guy has a charge bonus of 10, it's not like your 60 beats his 10 and you get your charge bonus. It feels like both characters get their charge bonus. Ooh. And Forsaken actually have equal charge to Doomflayers, which also isn't great. They have pretty bad charge. There we go. That's what I wanted to show you. So you can see that I charged them head on. They're exactly what I want to be fighting. I got 72 value. They got 260. So I lose the charge, and then if I just sit here and grind with them, I also lose the sit and grind. That's why Doomflayers suck. So if you didn't have them getting attacked by multiple entities at the same time without the Cav bug, that's probably why they would do better. So they got 223. Their opponent got 550. So anyway, that's why Doomflayers suck, dude. All right, screen blocker back up because I screwed up a couple times, but some people out there may not know what the end score is. So I'll go back. Game 3 between Cal Harmon and Dactyr. We have Cal Harmon on the High Elves versus Dactyr's Wood Elves. Dactyr is a very good Wood Elf player. I think they're his main, but if they're not his main, he plays them against me all the time and keeps beating me. So I'm sure we will see some pretty cool shit here. It looks like triple Waywatcher, a Glade Lord, Way Stalker, a Branch Wraith in the back with Earthblood and Pendulum, some Eternal Guards with shields just to round out the army and have some spears. Other than that, we have some Wild Riders and Sisters of the Thorn. Very heavy sniping army. And Butcherbird, of course, you know the results. You silly, silly sir. For Cal Harmon, we have 2 Silver Helms with shields and 2 Illyrian Reavers. It looks like on each side. Silver Helms, shields, Illyrian Reavers, Dragon Princes. Okay, so 4 Illyrian Reavers, 4 Silver Helms with shields, 1 Dragon Prince. Alariel the Radiant for some healing. And then we have Lothern Seaguard with shields to counter-trade the Wood Elves, because they can actually do some good poke damage, and they're shielded, which is quite good. I actually tried a similar build to this versus Dactyr not too long ago, and he had a similar build to the one he has now, and it went terribly for me. Though I did have Imric because I'm a Chad. So maybe this will work better for Cal Harmon with his real lord. Yes, Wood Elves are Dactyr's main. Yes. Well, I was just trying to not commit to anything so that the audience could be shocked when Dactyr is going to destroy this man with his Wood Elf powers. So I had to hedge the fact that he's a Wood Elf god, a deity. Are you happy now, bird? Happy now. I gave the appropriate hype. Star of Avalorn coming in on the Dragon Princes and a little bit of the Silver Helms, though they pull out of there before they can really get the healing. And with Prairie of Nothrama, Alariel takes so much damage. Her healing cap is already well within sight, and those last few chasing Waywatcher arrows are just going to bring her down so low. Oof. Do Seaguard get the shield bonus while firing? Yes, they do, Lord of Lucia. Yes, they do. And the Waystalker is going to snipe out Alariel. Now without a Lord and a caster, I'm pretty sure Cal Harmon is in a really bad spot. A beautiful Pendulum coming in from Dactyr, and we can see even more of these High Elf Cav will rout off. Waywatchers are getting some nice volleys. They are just shrekking down the Silver Helms of Shields. Big oofs badoofs. Now the Silver Helms of Shields are pushing back here. Maybe they can get onto these Way Watchers and maybe they can kill them. Wild Riders are bouncing around to intercept, but Wild Riders take a lot of damage on the trade, as you can see, and now Sisters of the Thorn are even trying to stand their ground here. And the Glady is also trying to hold back the tide, so this is a last-ditch effort for the High Elves. You can see their Lord is gone, a lot of their cav is very injured, and they are just trying to push and get on top of the Way Watchers and turn this around all or nothing. And the Eternal Guard are screaming, wait, wait, come back, fight us, please. But the Cav are largely ignoring them, though they are taking too many leadership penalties from getting shot, from getting attacked in the rear, all these things, and some of the Illyrian Reavers will break off, Silver Helms might break off soon, and these Dragon Princes are too wounded to potentially take out all of these Way Watchers, even though they're firing in melee. I don't think the Hives would be able to claw it back. They do shut down one Way Watcher, and they get on top of another, but Way Watchers actually have decent combat stats. You can see 28-28, it's not bad. Silver Helms have 34-30 with some charge bonus. They got a big charge bonus in there. But they will not slap down the Way Watchers fast enough, and some Eternal Guards will show up, push them off. The Glady shows up. Now Lothar and Seaguard are still firing in, and Cal Harmon is honestly doing his damnedest to come back in this game, but Dactor's snipe on his Lord was really tough to come back from, and he has played excellently to even make this a close game since then. Because, you know, imagine if he had healing during all this. Imagine if he could throw a Star of Avalorn down on some of these Cav that are running away. Some Earthbloods could have been very nice. One Way Watcher has survived the apocalypse, and not for very long. It looks like they might get shut down yet again with some Silver Helms coming in for them. Wild Riders trying to rear charge the Silver Helms and Eternal Guard. It looks like Cal Harmon will pull away, just deciding it's not worth it. I'm guessing they'll get a shot in their back for their effort, as the Way Watchers will fire. And can four Lothar and Seaguard fight all of this? Maybe. The Wood Elves are pretty haggard, though Branch Wraith, the Glade Lord, can actually go a long way, especially if there are any Pendulums left. Blob up the units and pendulum down. Way Watchers getting outside, still firing. They have 11 ammunition left, which is plenty. They can keep sniping these Cav. And army losses will be a cruel mistress, I think, this game. Although Seaguard do okay in melee. I mean, they have 52 melee defense when their martial prowess is active, but only 24 melee attack. It's not ideal. Cav are trying to cycle charge effectively. And Cal Harmon making Cav look good again. Way Watchers routing yet again. Don't know if they'll come back this time at all. Way Stalker fighting off those Illyrian Reavers. And yeah, I was going to say some Shatters have got to be coming in here. These Cav have routed off and come back so many times. I think half of them will shatter when they route this time. Leadership on this full health unit of Lothar and Seaguard is very low. That is interesting and concerning. Attacked in the rear. Attacked in the rear by who? Where? Show me. Show me this attacked in the rear. Anyway, that's just an interesting... I wouldn't call it a bug, it's just dumb. Both Way Watchers are now running. One is shattered. So there's no more Way Watcher support. We still have a Glade Lord with a good amount of ammo. We have a Branch Wraith, probably with Winds of Magic. And the Way Stalker is almost out of ammo, but she's a good melee combatant. 65-60 is nothing to scoff at. Logic, you are up late. Hey, Jeremy, just finished watching The Last Kingdom with Ducky. Alright, alright. Some roommate chill time. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, Logic, I had 2 whole people sign up for my tournament tonight, so I canceled it and I was doing this instead. It's, the struggle's been real. Silver Helms over here, I am surprised they're not shattered already. These High Elves are very, very brave, but they will now rout. These are a lot of... There's a lot of Spearmen left, and it's just the Wood Elf Hero Lord Corps. Can they do it? Dactor's going to charge around the side to try and not sprint into braced spears. Gets a little nice side charge in there just to break it up for the Branch Wraith before she shows up. This Way Stalker needs to get out of here. They are wasting a lot of ammunition on her, and that's good, but I'm worried she's going to break. There are some significant leadership issues in the game right now. Yeah, they're kind of weird. One more Lothar and Seaguard breaks. Balance power is quite far against the High Elves at this point. And I am so curious if there are any Pendulums left. I know I've said it a few times, but I haven't seen one in quite a while. And I feel like I didn't see a ton this game. So Dactor's just chasing down some routing units, buying his time. Probably to let Winds of Magic charge up, honestly. Glady shooting backwards into all these. Love and Seaguard. Another Earthblood comes in. Another side charge from the Glady. And I think if these units were unbreakable, they could maybe win it. But the balance power is so far against them that I think army losses will do the Wood Elves a favor. Ooh, especially with the Earthblood coming in. That's going to trigger the army losses. And Dactor brings it back. 1-2, baby. Let's go. Turn was streaming tonight? I actually didn't know he was streaming. I thought he did a chess tournament earlier in the day, but if he's streaming right now, then that's quite unfortunate for me. So Dactor bringing it to a game 4. If you saw Logic's tournament today, you know game 5s are all the rage. So, spoiler alert, this one also goes to game 5. Waystalker got 1,800 value. That's really nice. Glady got 1,500 on her own. Branch Wraith got 900. Eternal Guards got mixed value, but they did their jobs quite well. Waywatchers did excellently. I don't think they paid for themselves. Yeah, they're more than 900. I don't think they paid for themselves, but they put a lot of pressure down. Wild Riders really struggled, but fought valiantly to try to stop those cav. And Sister of the Thorn also kind of struggled. So it was largely on the hero core. For Cal Harmon, Larry got 0 value, got one of her stars off, but otherwise got sniped. Lother and Seaguard did quite well. Alien Reavers, one did well, the others did not. Silver Helms largely did pretty good. Pretty good. And Dragon Princess got almost 2,000. That's nice. Chad build from Cal. Oof. Yeah. Hey, Ice Power. What up, dude? Ice Power is already qualified for the finals of this event. And here we're figuring out who the 4th finalist is. And I'll bring up the graphic I made at the end of the stream. So Cal Harmon, Dactor, game 4. Let's do this. Looks like Dactor is on Tomb Kings versus Cal Harmon's Wood Elves. I've heard mixed things about this matchup, but whenever I played it, I'm a bad Tomb King. I'll say it and I'll say it again. I'm a bad Tomb Kings player. But this matchup feels like shit from the Tomb Kings side. Some people say it's like good for the Tomb Kings, but I ain't feeling it. Tonight isn't tonight in Europe time. It was his chess stream today. Okay. Yeah. Skeleton Horse Archers from Dactor. It looks like 4 of them. Other than that, we have some Nehekar Horsemen. I'm guessing one on the other side? Yep, one on the other side. 3 Chariots, a 3rd Nehekar Horseman, the Chosen of the Gods Ushapti, and a Skeleton Warrior / Spearman front line with Arkan the Black. For the Wood Elves, we have a Dryad front line that'll beat up most Skeletons very effectively. We have 2 Wildwood Rangers, 2 War Dancers with Azrai Spears, some Glade Guard spam with the Starfire Shafts. Okay. Alright, and then a Turtle Guard in the backfield. I wonder what this elite infantry is for. I guess the world might never know. But with a Spirit Leech coming in and Chosen of the Gods firing on them, they've taken a good amount of damage on the advance. But it looks like the Chosen of the Gods are going to be forced to run, which means they won't be firing. Now, I do have questions. If Ice Power is still here, you would know, otherwise other people. Why do people keep overcasting Spirit Leech when you could just run up and cast it quick for less mana and no overcast damage? That kind of bothers me. Because there was nothing here to punish him if he just, like, ran up first and did it. He didn't really need the distance and doesn't do any more damage overcasted. I don't know. I think people sometimes overcast things out of habit, not out of need. Tomb Kings versus Wood Elves is 50-50. Logic feels only from observation, though. Limited playing experience. That's fair. It's not a matchup I get to see a lot. It's not a matchup I care to see a lot, honestly. Wood Elves are not my cup of tea. I don't think I've made this any secret. I find them very slow. Dryads are running around just trying to take some hits, but the War Dance with Azrai Spears over here are very, very beat up. They now pop the Woven Mist ability that they have, 40% missile resistance. That will be a good waste of the Ushapti's ammunition. Other than that, Wood Elves are just going to try to sit and fire back. It looks like they're content just letting the Chosen of the Gods run out of ammunition. against these War Dancers. Logic, I mean, he could not want to risk getting shot, but with no nets and Starfire Shafts, Glade Guard over, like, there's no Deepwood Scouts or Way Watchers. I don't think he had anything to fear. I think it was just habit, but I could be wrong. Maybe his micro was elsewhere and he didn't want to worry about forgetting Arc and getting Goon. I don't know. These War Dancers are having a very bad time, though. Very bad time. They haven't really gotten to fight yet. Looks like a summon of skeletons was thrown into the wilds there, because it did disintegrate very quickly. Nakar Horsemen are on the rear. I don't know if this is necessary, and he will pull back, because that was very risky for not a lot of reward. So far, the Tomb Kings are doing well in these trades. I don't think they need to do anything crazy just yet. They are now pushing in with their front lines. Chosen the Gods are firing and doing a lot of damage still, but they're running out of ammunition, and now the Chariots are getting involved. And that is certainly very good. Realm of Souls pops, just gives some regen to the whole army for a little bit. Now, one flank was forgotten about by the Wood Elves. It looks like some Skeleton Horse Archers are able to get in here on top of the Glade Guard, but they are doing damage so slowly that I think these Eternal Guard with spears can walk in and defend. Skeleton Chariots are going nuts all over the Wood Elf lines, getting a ton of kills, but now they're up against the elite infantry of the War Dancers and Wildwood Rangers. Maybe that'll be a stop to their parade. Chosen the Gods are almost out of ammunition. I've said that a lot, but I feel like they've been almost out for quite a while. And the Wood Elf lines are fully compromised. Now their elite infantry will come to bear. Everybody's all engaged, mucked up, right in the good proper fight that they wanted. Starfire Shafts trying to get some shots onto the Chariots before they get run over, but it looks like the Chariots will suddenly pull away. Don't want to get caught up in those spears. A Pendulum came down to bail out some of these Wild Rangers, and another Spirit Leech comes in. Arc in the Black is just Spirit Leeching down everything in this army that possibly matters. But the Wood Elves are up in the balance of power. That is surprising. I feel like the Tomb Kings have done so many things right, but they're just getting ground out, apparently. I guess. Wild Rangers and War Dancers over here are looking pretty low, but they're hanging on. They are hanging on. Drycha's fighting with the Chosen of the Gods. I guess the Chosen of the Gods' ammunition was a big part of the balance of power, and it's all gone now. Skirmish Cav are dying off. They didn't have a lot to fight either. It just looks like there might not potentially be enough infantry killing power on the Tomb King's side. The Ushabti summon is here to try and fight Drycha, but it's getting caught up in some Dryads. Not ideal for her. Yeah, Starfire Shafts are AP and fire damage, but I think you can dodge them pretty okay. You like the matchup for Tomb King's Butcherbird? All right, dude. Waste of mana? It could be. I agree. I mean, I agree that overcasting it wasn't worth it. In this case, it is worth it in a lot of cases, but not this one. Bounce Power says the Wood Elves are pretty far up. I guess they are. Looking around, they look pretty beat up, but I guess so are the Tomb Kings. And another Pendulum coming in, just deleting out some Skeleton Warriors, causing crumbling wherever they can. And once this Ushabti summon goes, the Bounce Power is going to go very against the Tomb Kings, as they'll run out of power to kill Drycha. And that is true, actually. Arkin can maybe Spirit Leecher, but he's burned so many Spirit Leech on the Elite Infantry, which is also a good target. It's just there's too many good targets, but Arkin the Black can't 1v1 Drycha, especially on foot. There's not a lot that can. It looks like the Tomb Kings might just perish into the ether. The sun's getting real low, big guy. Hammond, that's from the Avengers, I believe. I think. Arc in the Black pops Staff from the Gash just for some cooldowns. Looks like he wanted to get his skeletons out. What would it take for the Tomb Kings to win? A miracle. The Chosen of the Gods would have to beat up Drycha in combat while Arkin held his ground. Don't think he can. I think Drycha could finish off this army, honestly. Wildwood Rangers are getting Spirit Leech. There are some War Dancers here, but... Eternal Guard here. They'll do okay. They'll do okay. Bounce Power is further against them. The Skeleton Warrior Summon will go away eventually. And Drycha gets a great hit onto the Chosen of the Gods. And I think we can play this in double speed, because it ends in tragedy. Ooh, especially with some support coming in now. All these arrows raining in. That will be it. And Cal Harmon takes the series 3-1. 3-1 for the Harman. Ark in the Black getting 630 value, but he didn't get to run around and do as he pleased as much. The game was pretty short. Yakar Horsemen struggled to get their value back. 2 did okay, and 1 did poorly. Chariots were a fine pick. I mean, 1 getting gooned out is par for the course, but 2 did okay. Skirmish Cav didn't have anything they could fire at, really, and they still did okay, and the Chosen of the Gods did fine. For Cal Harman, Drika got about 600. 2 of her Spearmen got almost, 700, 800 value. That's pretty darn good. Dryads did okay. They didn't quite pay for themselves, but they did good. War Dancers struggled. So did the Wildwood Rangers, but they had so much focused into them that I can't blame them for doing not the best. It looks like the Wood Elves just had enough infantry to persevere. So Cal Harman will take it. Cal Harman will take it. GG. What does that mean for the finals? What does that mean? Media. Where are you? Okay, there it is. Boom. So it sounds like, if all scheduling goes according to plan, October 3rd we're going to be doing this. So it'll be Void Laws, Cal Harman, Chosen One, and Ice Power doing best of 5s. And then the loser of each goes into a third place best of 5, and the winner of each goes into a first place best of 7. There we will determine who gets $100, $50, $20, and $10. But these are your 4 champs. Yeah, sounded like October 3rd. We have a chat communicating about it, but it's been a little vague. Let's just say scheduling is not easy with these fine, busy gentlemen. All right, we did it. I can cross that off my list. That's apparently Dactor's Wood Elf build, by the way. Oh. Yeah, they are both ODM. I suppose you would know. That's what I have for you today. I'll have a poll going up on the channel soon. The Discord channel, that is. About some stuff. Some things. Some problems, my dudes. Some problems. And we got to figure out the future of this here YouTube thing. Anyway. I'll put a poll about that. Other than such, Friday I'm hosting a tournament for Anticity, so be on the lookout for that. Saturday I'll be streaming on his ladder for the big ladder reopening event. And I think Sunday my current speed run runs out. I'm going to put up a quick poll, actually. Hold on. Boom. There should be a poll out for you guys right now, whether we end the stream or whether I show you what the stream run, the speed run event is about by showing you my run in it. Which has already been thoroughly beaten. My speed run time, it would get last currently. But I was doing it just to make sure it could be done. We have 1 vote for speed run. Two votes for speed run. All right, Lord of Lucia doesn't even know what it is, so let's do this. Bring you back to my game. Just game. My speed run. So we call it rat race speedruns, good sir. And I did them a lot when my channel started, but they weren't very popular. So I kind of laid off for a little bit, cooled the engine. Butcherbird, that is correct, but I do have fast forward buttons. Anyway, so the speedrun thing is you have to beat this combined Chaos and Beastmen army while defending this fort as quickly as you can And some people have done it very, very fast indeed, but I just wanted to do it at all. Because this was recorded while I was trying to make the thing. And I made it a challenge, but I made it too challenging for a little bit there. So the big threat to me in this army out here, there's a lot of things that we'll have to go through. But the main thing is this hell cannon. And I know the AI is dumb as hell. So I just slam this carrion into them to knock them off the hell cannon. You can see they go to 9 models, meaning the Chaos Dwarfs are off of it. And they're such dum-dums that they will not get back on the cannon. Instead, they'll walk at the front gate. So that's my strategy for that. But a lot of the speed run is just you can pause, you can slow motion, and also what you can do is 2v2 this. Not 2v2, 2v4. So I have armies on my Discord that you set up, and if you wanted to, you can grab a friend and fight 2 Beastmen armies and 2 Chaos armies rather than just 1 and 1. But then you and your friend can work together and try to win. So for me, I have Arkin the Black. I believe is he on foot? No, he's on his horsey. And I have Purple Sun as his only spell to clear out stuff. I have a Hyro Titan to do more AoE clearing and be a big tanky boy. He's next to a Necrotect because I wanted the fire thing. 20% weakness to fire damage, which the Hyro Titan does. Then I have a bunch of rows of skeletons because I want them to die slowly. I don't want them to win. 1 Tomb Scorpion to charge. I have the Chosen of the Gods up here. No, I just have 2 Shopti Great Bows. Casket of Souls to deal with some more punks. And then I have 2 skeletons that I have misplaced. This one should be somewhere else. But they defend the high grounds for me. So I'm just trying to focus some people. And then the Beastmen army you're fighting has some decent infantry. Ungor herds, Ungor spearmen herds. A couple Centaurs. I think there's some Gore herds in here somewhere. Some archers. The Chaos army has more elite warriors. Some Chaos Warhounds. There's a Shaggoth, there's a Giant, there's some Chaos Spawn, Archaon, Jabberslythe, Torix the Brass Bull, and 2 Gore Bulls. So it's a mix. A mix of elite infant... Oh, there's 1 unit of Chosen somewhere. I don't know where they are, but I know they're in here somewhere. There's some elite infantry, there's some monsters, there's some breakable troops, there's some chaff, there's some archers. I made the armies have a little bit of everything. So you're just trying to do your best to hone your campaign skills and get the AI to do what you want them to do. Here I'm blobbing up a lot of things on my Hyro Titan Arkin combo, and I'm just purple sunning them off. I tell my Shopti Great Bows to specifically only shoot single entities. You can see they're slamming down the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. And Tomb Scorpion is running up, but he gets a little pinned in by the Jabberslythe. I didn't like that as much, but not much I could do about it. Ooh, a beautiful purple sun. Gotta come in. And they are routed off. More regen coming in for me, but no Ushapti yet. And there was a sneaky sneak back here. You can see some Centaurs ran all the way around and got on top of my skeletons. I think I realized that pretty quick, and I think the Casket of Souls is going to turn and fire on this area and try to bail me out there. But I can't remember. My Necrotect got caught up and he couldn't get out, so I think he dies there. Not super sure. Jabberslythe pushes Ark in the black away, and I could not let that happen, so I had to pull back and fight him. That shatters off. Actually, the Necrotect's still alive. He's running. We have 2 Gorbulls up here, so my Shoptis are trying to take care of him, but a lot of this challenge is just having a good army composition. Oh, that was it. I summoned my Shopti back there. Good army composition, good knowledge of how the AI handles things, good fort protection strategies. And it could be a lot of fun. I mean, this was stressful. This is like my 4th or 5th try. And I do, spoilers, I do win this one. What's the point? Defend for as long as you can? No logic. It's to win as quickly as you can, which can be hard in this scenario. And my ship to Great Bows are almost out of ammo. But if you have a quicker way of winning, and I will say right now, I'm at, like, you can see up there, I'm at 8.5 minutes and this game isn't over. Some of the people completing this have done it in, like, 5 or 6. So they would have already been done by now, which is just insane. And that's kind of the fun part, is to, at the end, I cast a lot of the speedruns. And we can see what strategies people came up with, and, like, you get some pretty cool combos you wouldn't normally see. And you're like, wow, that's really cool, I didn't think of that, or something like that. I focus all my assets over here, because over there is a standstill, and I'm okay with that. But over here, I just want to, like, blob up as many units as I can, get another Purple Sun in, route off Torix and all his homies. Archaon's going to be a bit of a problem for me. Balance power is still very against me, as it has been most of the game. But here, Hyro Titan and Necrotect and Archon, all just trying to get on top of Archaon. I can't get my Chosen of the Gods to shoot. They're obstructed, but it looks like the Hyrule Titan doesn't need it because the Hyrule Titan's a Chad. He's got to get it. And Archaon's routed. I route off all these units. We're also going to get rid of a Giant. And on the far end, my out-of-ammo Casket of Souls is losing, but it's losing slowly enough that I can rally this whole side and come back to help. This is kind of the last bastion. You can see the Hell Cannon with its full ammunition is over here. Army Losses comes in for the baddies, and I can just kill off last Chaos Spawn and Hell Cannon. And my time is 15 minutes and 16 minutes. 16 minutes and change. But some people have completed it in like 5 or 6. And you can grab a friend and do two-man. Same army to defend with. You can do whatever you want with your army, Mr. Logic. You can do whatever you want with your army. And the thing is, you can also abuse bugs, except for there's one bug I banned because it's against AI. Who cares if you use bugs against AI? The one thing I banned was there is a bug that I'm not sure if it was fixed or not, but you could cast infinite spells. And after the players that played the speedruns figured out how to do that, every speedrun was literally just infinite burning heads or infinite flame storms taking out the whole army right away. So it was just dumb. It wasn't fun to watch. Yeah, but you can build any army you want. I've done it with Tomb Kings. I almost did it with Vampire Coast. I didn't try it with Lizardmen too much, but they're usually pretty good. I haven't tried it with Dwarves. But you can grab a buddy, and then you two can do whatever you want and just fight, 2 Beastmen, 2 Chaos. I have the builds on my Discord in the Rat Race speedrun section, but here they are. They're pretty easy to build because I made the characters. Archaon's on his horse, but otherwise he has nothing. And Torax and the Gorbals all have nothing. So they're pretty easy to copy-paste. What level of difficulty? I don't know. Battle difficulty normal, I guess. The details are all in the Discord. It's just it's a fun, different community thing we do. Some people get really addicted to it. Some people don't like it. Oh, the AI, they're normal. They're fine. You managed 9 minutes, Butcherbird? Yeah. It's just something. It's very niche content. The streams when I cast the replays have some of the lowest views on my channel, and the participation is like 7 or 8 people going ham on it, and nobody else really does it. But I don't know. The 7 or 8 people seem to like it, so if it makes them happy, it doesn't hurt me to run it. Anyway, the two-person aspect is new, and we've had some new players come in and try the speedrun stuff with duos. I've heard some interesting ones that I don't want to reveal because scheming and planning is like most of the event, So if I tell you what they did, then that ruins all their effort, and that's kind of dickish. But yeah, you could have like dwarven cannons and guns and stuff protecting like a Skaven front line. So you could actually have a bunch of Skaven slaves and clan rats and try to hold the walls and have dwarves shooting over your shoulder or something. It's fun. It's silly. Logic might give it a go. Hey man, go for it. And if you want it streamed, just submit your replay at the end of the event. I think it ends like Sunday or something, so there's plenty of time. It runs for like a week when we do it. Anyway, information's on the Discord, but it's a for fun community thing that we do. All right, that's gonna be it for me tonight. You lads, you sneaky rapscallions, have a great night. See you around.